All right, let's dive right in. If you're a leader trying to get AI integrated into your business, think of this as your personal playbook. We're going to skip all the buzzwords and get straight to the practical frameworks you need to turn that big AI vision into something real, something you can actually execute on. So let's just start with the biggest question on the table. You see the incredible potential of AI, right? You've probably got this compelling picture painted for your team, and everyone's excited. But do you have a real plan, or is that amazing vision just, a great idea floating around in a PowerPoint deck? That's the critical gap we're at close today. Here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll talk about why even the best visions can spiral into chaos. Then, I'll introduce you to something I call the strategic planning chain. This is your core framework. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of picking the right projects, how to balance your AI portfolio, and finally, how to build a roadmap that actually works. Okay, so you've put in the work, you've created this brilliant AI strategy. So why isn't that enough? Well, the hard truth is a vision without a concrete plan is probably one of the fastest ways to end up going nowhere. Because this is exactly what happens. When you don't have a clear system for deciding which projects get the green light, which ones get the money and the people, those decisions become political. It suddenly becomes about which department head yells the loudest or which exec has the most pull, not about what initiative actually delivers the most strategic value. And the result? It's just chaos, wasted money, and zero real progress. So how do we get out of that chaotic mess? Well, we use a clear, logical map. Let's call it the strategic planning chain. This is the framework that connects your high-level, big-picture vision directly to the projects your teams are grinding on day to day. And here are the 6 links in that chain. See, it all starts with your vision. That vision is held up by 3 to 5 strategic pillars. These are the big themes, like revolutionize customer experience. From those pillars, you can start identifying specific project ideas. Now this next one, number 4, prioritization, this is where most plans completely fall apart. You have to decide what to fund. Only then can you build the roadmap and actually start executing. If you skip any of these links, especially that prioritization step, the whole chain just breaks. Which brings us to what I think is the most critical step of all. This is where your strategy actually becomes a reality. You've probably got a list of 15, maybe 20 amazing AI project ideas. But let's be real, you only have the budget and the people for, say, 5 of them. So how do you pick the winners with real confidence, without it just turning into another political fight? This is how. We use a simple framework to turn a subjective debate into an objective, data-driven discussion. It's called the Impact Effort Risk Framework. For every potential project, you just score it on its strategic impact, the level of effort it's going to take, and any technical or organizational risk involved. So as you can see here, a Gen AI chatbot might be super high impact with pretty low effort and risk. That makes it a high priority. Predictive maintenance, on the other hand, is also high impact, but it takes a lot more effort, so it gets a medium priority for now. Now, if a detailed table feels like a bit much, a simple 2x2 matrix can be just as powerful. Seriously, you just map out your projects based on their impact and how feasible they are to pull off. The 2 boxes you really want to pay attention to are on the top. High impact, high feasibility projects, those are your quick wins, they build momentum fast. And high impact, low feasibility projects, those are your big strategic bets, the game changers that will define your future. And this right here reveals the real superpower of using these frameworks. They give you an objective, data-driven reason to say no, or maybe more accurately to say not right now. It totally depersonalizes the decision. You can look a project sponsor in the eye and say, hey, this is a fantastic idea, but based on our criteria, it just doesn't rank as a top priority at the moment. Let's circle back in 6 months. And this is so important. It's not just about picking individual projects. It's about building a balanced portfolio. You absolutely have to mix those huge long-term transformational bets with initiatives that deliver real, tangible results in the short term. That's how you keep the organization funded, engaged, and believing in the vision. So what does that balance actually look like? Well, there's a proven rule of thumb that a lot of really successful companies use. It's the 70-30 split. Here's what it means. You allocate about 70% of your resources to those core, long-term strategic projects that build your foundational capabilities. The other 30%, that goes to those quicker wins and experiments that build confidence, show some visible results, and frankly, help fund your bigger bets. This balance keeps you from getting stuck in tactical busy work or getting lost in someday projects that never seem to deliver. And a big part of that 30% is for your innovation pipeline.
It all starts with proofs of concepts, or POCs. You should think of these as small, fast, 4 to 8 week science experiments. Their only goal is to learn something and to learn it cheaply. And here's the absolute key. Most of your POCs should fail. That's right, failure is an expected outcome. That's how you know you're actually pushing the boundaries.
Now, if a POC is successful, it gets to graduate to a pilot. This is a much bigger 3 to 6 month test, where the POC asks, hey, can we even do this? The pilot asks, okay, what would it really take to do this at scale? It is the full dress rehearsal before the main performance, and it's designed to uncover all those messy, real-world challenges. Okay, so we've picked our projects, we've balanced the portfolio. Now it's time to put together the final piece of the puzzle, building the actual execution roadmap. This is where we figure out the order in which we're going to tackle everything we've approved. And listen, a great roadmap is so much more than a timeline. It's really a math of dependencies. You can't build a predictive model until you have the right data infrastructure in place, right? That's a technical dependency. You can't roll out a new AI tool without training people how to use it. That's an organizational dependency. A smart roadmap makes all these connections totally explicit so that everyone gets why things are sequenced in that particular order. And this is a really critical mindset shift. The main purpose of your roadmap isn't just to track a bunch of tasks, it's to communicate your strategy. It becomes the single document that gets executives, product teams, and engineering all on the same page about what you're building, in what order, and why it's so important. It tells the story of your entire AI journey. But of course, no plan survives first contact with reality, right? Markets shift, new tech pops up. The goal isn't to create a rigid plan that never changes. It's to have a disciplined process for adapting. That means holding regular quarterly reviews, using those same clear criteria to evaluate any changes, being transparent about the trade-offs you're making, and having a consistent process to follow. It's about being agile, but without creating chaos. At the end of the day, the goal here isn't to find the world's most complicated spreadsheet. The best planning frameworks are the ones your organization will actually use. They have to be simple enough for everyone to get it, but also rigorous enough to make sure decisions are truly strategic and not just political. So I'm going to leave you with one final thought to take back to your team. Take a hard look at your own AI plan. Is it a living, breathing document that actually drives your daily decisions, your resource allocation, and your roadmap? Or is it just a set of beautiful slides sitting in a folder somewhere, completely disconnected from the reality of getting things done? The frameworks we talked about today, that's the bridge between the two.